Hi, this is another Ask Augustin. Today I'm going to talk about three-note chords and different ways to achieve the same result, which is that all three notes sound at the same time. So the easiest way to play all three notes at the same time, and the one that's probably most often used by violinists, is that you place the bow on the middle of the three strings, so in the middle, and you apply quite a bit of pressure and weight, and then you suddenly release this pressure as you start moving the bow. This works very, very well, and it's used very often. It has the drawback that it will always have quite an accent, this kind of attack at the start of the note. And it is very hard to do this on the upbow. It's possible, but and it's easier to do it on the upbow when you're close to the frog, but it's not so easy to do. A second way to do this is actually to drop the bow slightly from a certain height. You have to figure out which height, and to drop it onto the middle string. I would say drop it instead of throw it. It's better to let gravity do the work. This tends to be slightly less harsh of an attack, but it still has the impact at the start. And again, it's hard to do that on the upbow. It's possible if you're close to the frog, but it's kind of awkward. There is another way that I really love to use, which what I'm doing is that I am actually breaking the note slightly. But as I'm breaking, I'm increasing the weight and the bow speed by a lot. So the notes all sound at the same time. You basically hear it as a chord that happens at the same time. But the fourth, like the loudest point of the chord, is actually during the chord itself. It's not at the very, very start. So it's possible to sustain a bit more. And it's also possible to do it on an upbow. It basically is equally difficult on the upbow and on the downbow. Again, I break it. So it's a breaking motion during which I increase weight and bow speed. Tends to be a little bit smoother, but actually richer in sound because it's possible to sustain. And I love it particularly for passages like in the Brahms concerto when I actually want the sound to be very, very intense, but not necessarily like so hard. It's not necessarily like so. It's an aggressive attack, but more of a kind of gruff but rich sound. I find this to be helpful. Whenever you have a three-note chord where you want the notes to be together, but actually not too loud, like because there's a crescendo coming up. So by not playing them at the same time by using the attack, but instead breaking them very slightly, I'm able to start the passage softer as well. There are many passages in the repertoire that have whole passages of three-note chords, for example, Bruch concerto, and so not only playing like this, but actually some of them I actually have more of the impact during the note, but by playing them the way I just described. In the chanson Rondo Capriccioso, I actually like to start first by kind of dropping the bow, and then I actually like to break the top note just to make it even more intense, and then finally play them together again. And the last one is the one that actually gets the strong attack for me. I think that it's possible to have way more nuance in these passages with three-note chords than if you actually do them all the same and always by focusing on the attack. I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you next time.